The DJ cut the music so suddenly that half the guests didn't even notice at first. The country club ballroom went silent, heavy, suffocating, the kind of silence that freezes people mid-sip. Everyone's eyes locked onto the center of the dance floor, where a man stood rigid as a steel beam, Commander Lucas Grant. My sister's fiancé. The hero everyone had been toasting all night. His face had turned white as his dress uniform, and across from him stood me, Aria Hale, holding a flimsy plastic cup of fruit punch like. I'd rather dissolve into the hardwood floor. He wasn't looking at his future sister-in-law. He was looking at his superior officer, because Lucas Grant, the Navy SEAL my family worshipped, had just realized that I, according to them the disappointment, that nobody, the IT girl who fixes printers, was actually Rear Admiral Aria Hale, Director of Naval Cyber Command. To understand why he looked like he'd seen a ghost, you have to understand the lie I let my family believe for 15 years. 20 minutes earlier the club smelled like expensive perfume and insecurity. I wore my usual navy dress, plain, conservative, the kind my mother hated because it didn't help her brand. She cornered me near the shrimp table, grabbed my collar, and whispered through a fake smile, "Please, Aria, don't bore Lucas with your little computer stories. He's a SEAL. He's seen real action." I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was pathetic. My mother thought I worked in a Navy basement fixing Wi-Fi. She didn't know I was the officer who approved SEAL deployment orders. Or that I'd spent last Christmas 300 feet underwater in a submarine, coordinating a Black Ops extraction. They told everyone I was the failure. Sarah was the golden child. Lucas was the hero, and me? I was the family embarrassment who didn't understand the real world. I let them believe it because explaining my clearance level was impossible. But then I saw Lucas's name on the engagement invitation, Commander Lucas Grant, SEAL Team Officer. I knew him. I knew his missions, his record, his chain of command photo wall, and I knew one more thing. He knew my face. The moment everything broke, my mother tapped the mic to introduce our late bloomer Aria. She works with computers somewhere in the Navy basement. The guests chuckled on cue. Lucas turned toward me with his polite, condescending smile, then our eyes met, and everything in him broke. The glass in his hand slipped and exploded on the floor. He snapped to attention so violently the room gasped, then he shouted, voice cracking like gunfire, "Admiral on deck." The whole ballroom froze. My mother blinked, confused. "Lucas, honey, stop teasing, ma'am," he said, sweat dripping down his temple. I didn't know. Rear Admiral Hale, Director of Cyber Command, ma'am. My mother went pale. Someone whispered, "Admiral." I returned Lucas's salute calmly, "As you were, Commander. Congratulations on the engagement." He stayed frozen, terrified. Suddenly every cousin, aunt, and neighbor who ignored me was scrambling to shake my hand, except my mother. She tried to hug me, shrieking, "My daughter. The Admiral. Why didn't you tell us?" I stepped back, because my work requires silence. And because this family cannot handle security or respect. Her face fell apart. I told her, politely, professionally, that due to her public exposure of my identity, I'd be limiting all contact for safety and classified reasons. It was the kindest way to say, "You lost access to me forever." 1 year later I worked at the Pentagon. Respected. Heard. Free. Sarah and Lucas sent a wedding invitation. I wrote, "Regrets." Classified deployment. Sent a generic gift. Shredded the envelope. No anger. No sadness, just peace, because I finally realized, you don't need validation from people who never valued you. And some heroes don't drink champagne at banquets, they get saluted, dismissed.